Okay. Wow, it's been a while. It's been such a long time since I've been in the studio. Oh, okay. Are we recording? We are recording. I think I'm recording. I feel a little rusty. Okay. Hi, Cravers. I have been gone. It's been a while. Okay, I know that. I think this is the longest I've ever gone without podcasting since I started the show back in December of 2020. There's a lot of reasons for that. I think the last time that we spoke, I was telling you about how I was going to Disney World and I was really excited because Mr. Wright was coming along and we had a really great time. The last park that we went to was Epcot, and I finally did the drinking around the world thing with Mr. Wright. Let me just tell you, it is way harder than you think it would be. And we did it right. Although there was this time when we were in Morocco, we were sitting on a bench and I was like, hey, Mr. Wright, look over there. He turned his head and I took my beer, like chucked it into the bush because I was done with like the mixing of alcohol. It was tough, but we did it, we made it, and we made this really cute, fun video that we share with all of our family and friends and stuff, and it was a really great time. One of the things that I've alluded to on this show with you guys over the last year is I had a lot of personal stuff going on, and I didn't want to elaborate too much because it just kind of didn't feel like my place to share. It wasn't my journey, it wasn't my story, even though it's a very important person in my life. I just didn't feel comfortable sharing or talking about it, and really, it's been an interesting situation. So, okay, in January of 2023, my dad was diagnosed with lung cancer, and he fought really hard. He went through 2 chemo trials. He had radiation every day for 5 weeks, did all the works. And in October, they told my dad, hey, you're in remission. Like, you did it. Like, the tumor is really small, and, we'll do a repeat scan in 3 months. But we were really like rejoicing and just so happy for my dad's second lease on life, right? And we started noticing like at Christmas time that my dad was moving slower, but we thought maybe, it's fatigue from all the chemo and everything that he's gone through, right? Like, that's understandable. But my brother, who was really like his biggest advocate, he was like, something's wrong. And I'm more of a, he's fine. He wasn't fine. And the last day that we were at Disney at Epcot, I got a text from my brother and was like, oh my God, we just got dad's scans back and it's everywhere. And I was like, what? And so the moment I got back, I went to my dad's appointment that Tuesday and we sat in a room. And I don't know if you've ever been a part of this. I'm sure many of you have had a journey with someone in your life with cancer, but being in that room and being told, you have 3 months to a year to live. And he was more heavy on the 3-month number, and I was a bit in shock. And so my brother and my family and I, we went into immediate, not survival mode, but just action, right? What can we do? What is our plan? All the while, my dad's health was deteriorating really quickly. So much so that the next week we admitted him to the hospital, and the following week we admitted him to hospice care. And not in 3 months did he pass, but it was 3 weeks. And I dedicated all of my time to, we all got together and made sure he was never alone and that we were there, and I was there for his final moments. I'm trying not to get upset. It was really hard. And I told myself I wasn't getting upset. So it was really hard to go through. And I have not been in the mood to podcast or share or talk about things just because I've been going through so much. And I do feel like I want to share also that my beautiful cousin, her husband was on the airplane that crashed in DC. So all of this was happening within a 2-week span. And it was like a really fucked up couple of weeks. Losing a parent is a really significant thing. And it only happens to you twice in your life, and it's our time. And so it just was really, really hard. And I knew I was going to do this. I told myself, I was like, you know what, though, this is real life. This is what midlife is about. Like, you bury your parents and you have lots of loss and you go through things. As much as I have shared over the last couple of years how fabulous my life is, and it is, and it has been, and it will be, there's tough times. And so right, I'm going to get it together. I didn't even wasn't planning on this. So anyways, just a lot going on. And so that is why I've been absent. And I didn't want to come on here and come back and be like, I'm back. I had a little hiatus. No, like I'm going to share real shit with you and real life with you, because this is what midlife is like. And, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everything's rainbows and butterflies all the time, because it's not. One of the things I said when I first started this show was that, it's okay to not be okay. In the past couple of months, I haven't been okay. And so that is what has been going on. In better news, Mr. Wright and I are doing amazingly well. I am madly in love with him. He's my guy, he's my person, he's my best friend, and he has been there with me through some of the toughest times in my life. And I have just never been more sure or more happy. And I'm just really grateful and thankful for him in my life. Big news too, he moved in. It just kind of happened where he was like, I don't want to go home anymore. And so I was like, okay. Officially, he will be moved in May, but unofficially, he's been living here since November. And so, and it's going really, really well. It just, everything with him, from the moment I met him to, when we had the exclusivity talk, it's just been, pinch me. I've been, waiting for him for a really long time, and I feel very lucky. I feel very loved and happy. And so that is an amazing thing going on in my life. And, it was funny because we were talking, we were driving to North Carolina last weekend, and we were talking about how my show has evolved so much. And I kept telling him, I was like, I don't know how to get back into it. It feels weird, but also at the same time, it feels right. And I'm ready, and I miss the show, and I miss my Cravers, and I miss talking to you guys and miss sharing and all that stuff. But I just didn't feel like I knew how to jump back into it. And after the conversation, he was like, Adrian, everything you just said is exactly what you need to share with your Cravers. He was like, I felt like a Craver just listening to you. And what I was talking about is how the midlife craving journey started. Right? It was in my backyard on an inflatable during, COVID summer, and sitting around, with my friends and realizing, we're all going through significant changes, right? My friends getting divorced, my other friends dating. I was getting out of a relationship, a really toxic one and a tough one, and also having an affair with a married man. And my life was literally spiraling when I first started the show. I think you can hear the difference. There's no doubt. And I started off by sharing about midlife stuff and, living your best life and, having boundaries and setting core values and really, stopping cycles that are going on in your life and embracing how this is it, right? We're at midlife and it's now or never, and taking risks. And my life changed significantly when I met Kat and Ams from Two Hot Wives podcast and found the lifestyle. I've always been a very sexual and open person. And when I met them and I found the lifestyle, I feel like my life entirely changed, and also the show. And it became my journey in the lifestyle and sexcapades and the guys that I was dating and how, all the things over the last 90 episodes, which is just insane and crazy to say. And I was thinking how when I met Mr. Wright, everything changed. I found myself struggling with, I felt like I didn't want to share everything about him and with him because I was protective over him, right? This is, he's very serious, and I knew that from the beginning, and I'm in love with him, and I was very nervous about sharing just because how the show has impacted my life in other ways. And so I found myself the show is evolving as I have in my life and sexually, and how all of us, I think we feel in this part of the journey. And it was funny because I was thinking about how when I first started the show, I wanted to talk about all kinds of things women's issues and sexual issues and, journeys and evolution and things. And I love my Just the Tip segment, which, by the way, we're going to end with that, which is going to be a lot of fun because it's been a while. But, and I told Mr. Wright, I said, I want to get back to that. So here we are. I started off the show. Life was spiraling, found the lifestyle. went on an incredible journey, a sexual journey that is still ongoing, by the way. And I feel like now I want to focus more on, I want to still story tell and share and talk to you guys about things, of course. And by the way, we have a party coming up this summer. But I want to have more guests on. I want to learn from others as well. I feel like the show got so pigeonholed with, me and my sexcapades and things that I was doing. And it kind of all stopped when I met Mr. Right. And I don't know, the show just kind of changed. And so I want to evolve now into getting to know other people and learning more from them. Like I'm going to have my back. That sounds funny. And Zach is coming back. Zach has been going on an incredible journey with his husband in the lifestyle. I am dying to hear about that from him. And to have other friends on, Amanda's going to be coming back. We're just going to get right back into things. And so very excited to see where this goes. And, I appreciate you being here with me. And for those of you on Instagram or who I've gotten so many emails and you guys are all checking in, I read each and every one of them and I tried to respond to as many as possible. It meant so much to me, all of the love and support. You guys have no idea, especially as it's really been a tough time in my life. But I'm, moving forward. I miss my dad every day, but I have to move forward and move on, and getting back into the show and seeing you guys and talking with you guys, something I'm really looking forward to. Okay. So if you want to be a guest on the show, by the way, if you're in the DMV area, so DC, Maryland, Virginia, let me know. Like I would love to meet you and have you on the show. Like I really do want to meet my Cravers. That's like my goal over the next year, and learn from you and explore with you and share things, that you have to say, because that's really important too. So let's do that. So you can send me an email to midlifecraving@gmail.com, or go on the website. You can hit me up anywhere in there, or I respond to all of my DMs. I try to on Midlife Craving on Instagram. So send me a DM. Let me know if you're interested. Okay. So I look forward to hearing from you and learning from you and growing together as we approach, which is so insane to say, 5 years of Midlife Craving in December. Like that's just nuts. Okay. I'm glad I got that out of the way. I was not looking forward to talking about that or crying on a podcast, but that's okay. This is real life. So let's take it back, to where everything got started, and let's get back to one of my very favorite segments and games, Just the Tip. Okay, so I have 5 tips for you today. The first one is, and I feel like I talk about this a lot, is to remember to communicate with your partner. When's the last time you had a sit down, you had a conversation where you discussed each other's status, right? Like, are you happy? How are you feeling about things? I remember I kept in touch with Mr. Right almost every day during everything that I was going through, and he was there supporting me. And I would say to him, I know we haven't had one-on-one connection or that intimate time, but I want you to know I love you, I'm thinking about you, I'm craving you, and I can't wait to see you later, or whatever. Like having those little touch bases, that communication right there meant so much. We didn't have sex, I think, for like 2 weeks, which is forever. And even though we weren't even intimate, I felt closer to him than I ever had before. And that was because we were communicating so much and so well. And so, homework for you. Talk to your partner today. Ask them how they're doing, ask them if there's anything that, you guys can plan together, or do you want to, schedule a date night, do something with each other that brings you closer together, so that's a big deal. Okay. My next tip is I want to remind you to sext or send your partner nudes. I've been doing this a lot lately, and it's because, he's been busy at work. I've been busy with things and life in general. And it's been really fun to flirt with him and send him, a sexy text or a photo of a new outfit that I just got. And by the way, if you're out there, thinking about buying an outfit or treating yourself to some nice lingerie, do it. It's the best confidence builder ever. Like when I'm putting it on and taking photos for him, I feel so sexy. I feel empowered, and it really builds my confidence too, especially when he responds like with a jaw drop, or he's like, oh, I can't wait to get home to you. It's a really fun and sexy way to light that fire with your partner. And remember, it's such a great form of foreplay. And so sext your partner today. Take a moment right now. Okay. Up next, my next tip, and I might get some hate for this, but I really do believe it's a game changer. And although it has like a negative, people think of it negatively, it's not. And I want you to schedule sex with your partner. Okay, I know it sounds crazy, but it works. In fact, I have scheduled sex in about 2 hours from now because I haven't had alone time with Mr. Right in a couple of days. And I said, hey, Saturday night, me and you, this is what we're doing. I'm getting the swing out, whatever, right? Schedule the session, schedule the sex because it works. And it matters to carve out that time with your partner. And I know sometimes it might not be so sexy because it's not spontaneous, but I beg to differ. You know, it sets an expectation and you get excited about it. Like, I can't wait for him to come home, okay? So schedule the sex. And just, I want to reiterate too, like when you first met your partner and you're dating, when you scheduled a date or when you planned something, you were basically scheduling sex. So try it. I'm telling you, schedule the date with your partner, schedule the sex. Let's be outright and upfront with your partner. And they're not going to be disappointed, right? Like, and even though I know we're going to have sex in 2 hours, like it doesn't change anything for me. I'm just as equally excited about it now than I would be if it was spontaneously later, you know? So, okay. Of course, you know, I have to talk about, and one of my tips is to use toys. The amount of people that I talk to about toys and they get like nervous about them or they're scared to talk to their partner, I'm like, oh, I want to change the world here. Okay, so my new latest favorite toy, you know I love P-Cat and she's upstairs, but is this Tracy's Dog magic wand. My friend Mia, this is one of her favorite toys as well, and it's so much so that she had an emoji made of this on Telegram. She was like, Adrienne, oh my God, I made a Tracy's Dog emoji of the wand because she loves it so much. Like, she pops it in the chat with her partners. And I agree. I've been loving this toy with Mr. Right. I feel like it's just so sleek and so beautiful, and I like it because it can be used on both partners. I can use it on him, like on the underside of his head, or on myself, and it's very quiet and super powerful. Like, let me let you just hear it really quick. Like, you can't even hear that. It's so quiet and really powerful. Okay, it has 5 settings, 3 speeds. And I love how soft and flexible and easy to use this toy is, especially with a partner. So the Tracy's Dog Magic Wand, I'm loving it. And remember, you know, any toy that you buy on tracysdog.com, if you use code Cravers20, that's CRAVERS 20, you get 20% off. So go get yourself one. If you don't have this in your toy box, you are missing out. And Mia, I am going to get you a new one because she said, Adrienne, I think she's gone through, I think it's her second one. I think she's been using them for years, and she's like, oh my gosh, like she's like, that toy owes me nothing. So I know she's due for another one, and I'll get that on her way. So, okay. My last tip is to talk to your doctor if you need to about sex or about any type of intimacy issues you're having, or, you know, erectile dysfunction, dryness. Like, ladies, let's talk about this. I have been going through some things. In fact, episode 91, this is a good segue, is going to be the day my vagina changed. Okay? I'm not kidding. And I want to talk about this because it's a very real thing. And many of us have issues as we reach our, you know, mid 40s, 50s, and no one talks about it. My doctor recently has changed my life. I know Amanda has spoken about having an estrogen patch. I got the estrogen cream, and I quote, my doctor said, Adrienne, it is like pixie dust for the vagina. Like, every woman over 40 should be on this stuff. And I didn't even know that there was an estrogen cream. I know Amanda had talked about the patch and stuff, but I always felt like I don't need it. But one of the things it's helped me with is, I'll just say it, peeing my pants. Like, if I coughed, sneezed, and then when I was at a Redskins game, I like jumped up and peed my pants. It got to the point where it started to be funny, but not really. And when we were in Disney World, I was on the Skyliner, and we were laughing at Mr. Right about something, and I peed my pants. Like, and it was just a major issue. And the estrogen cream has been a game changer for me in many ways than one too. It stopped all of that. It has, you know, really I feel like I'm definitely wetter. And also, it helped with like any type of friction issues I was having. Because listen, as you get older, your estrogen drops and things change down there. Anyways, we'll talk more about it on episode 91. I spoke with Amanda. I think we're going to come back for Ask Double A, the next episode. But if not, I'll just drop episode 91. It's been really hard to connect with everyone again and get back to the schedule, but we will be back. But yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. And it's so important to talk to your doctor. And I just want you to know, like, if you're having issues or going through changes, like especially my ladies out there, please reach out to me. I would love to chat with you about it and build a community about it, because no one talks about this stuff. I've been, talking to my lifestyle friends, and they're of course open and honest about it, but I don't know, I feel like so many women suffer in their 40s and in midlife about, changes down there. And so we're going to talk about it. All right, let's wrap up Just the Tip. Let's get this episode, we're back. I'm coming back. I'll be coming in 2 hours. I'm so glad to be back in the studio. I definitely feel rusty. I feel like I'm rushing and I'm talking all over the place, and I cried on a fucking podcast today, but you know what? That's okay. We all have to start and get back somewhere, and I'm just really thankful for you guys for being here with me and through all of this. And I look forward to evolving in this show and seeing what's next. I have a lot of blessings and a lot of good things going on in my life too, so I'm going to be grateful for that. And one of those, especially, is you, my Cravers. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week with Amanda. I have not confirmed with her yet, but if not, I'll be back with episode 91, the day my vagina changed. We're gonna talk about it. I'll see you guys next week. So good to be back. Mwah. All right. Ooh, a little messy.